Hello, I'm Darryl from 3 different original bands from around town. Downwell Break, Gravity Reversing, Balls Jovi. Each one I'm a bassist. And with the job that I have to carry, usually I have to carry some good equipment. The first thing we'll go ahead and start off with is the top, which is the Rack Rider power conditioner with the pull-out lights. On some power conditioners, they don't have the pull-out lights. I like the option of being able to have pull-out lights, so if I can't see anything, I can obviously turn them on. Good thing about power conditioner is it runs just like you would an extension or one of those little power strips. It keeps my stuff well protected. The next one down is my Behringer rack tuner. It has several different settings, but honestly, it's a tuner. There's really nothing special about it. You could get into the ins and outs of it. I'm not that worried about it. But the good thing is that it does have under lighting. So if I didn't have the Rack Rider with the lights, I could turn it on and off with the press of a switch. The next one down is the Sonic Maximizer. It's really good in order to be able to get your signal to come on out all at once. I sometimes will run it, but lately I don't really need to because I have the next one down, which is the Auto Comp. This is by Behringer. It's just like what the name says. It's an automatic compressor, and basically what it does is it allows me to send out a signal and compresses it down into one fine stream of sound. If you don't run this, usually your sound can be a little wobbly and all over the place. This just smooths it out. The next one down is my LH1000. It's a 1,000-watt bass amplifier. It's a very simple head. When I went to shop for heads, when I look for bass heads, I look for simplicity. Honestly, you got 500 different things that go on with your amp or your different item that you're looking for. Any one of those things can actually cause a problem in the rest of the 499 problems that you're going to have. So I chose one that was simple. You got a simple equalizer, bass, mid, treble, volume, and then this right here, if you want to run them separately on a 4-ohm load, you can actually change to have one speaker to have more power versus the other. Then we come down to here. This is a Galen 4x10. I think it's the SB or SE series. A lot of bassists are rocking them nowadays, as I've noticed. These hit hard, and then you do have a horn in the middle for your highs, but I'm not good with measurements. But anyway, it's just got a bigger ass, so that allows more air to come in and out. So it allows better tone and more bass out of it. This right here is a 18. It's actually what was originally a PV enclosure 18. Used to have a Black Widow. Now it has a seismic audio 400 at 8 ohms load speaker in it, and it's an 18 that hits. Now we've experimented with different cabinets sizes. Again, we had one that was about an extra foot in and didn't have very much bass response on the 18, and we recognized that at higher levels the bass wasn't there. Now at low levels you can go with a smaller cabinet, works just fine, but on higher levels when we're running 1,000 watts you need that extra space. Otherwise that space can push the cone out and cause your voice coil to stretch out. Altogether, this one right here, I could probably run it up to about 8 and still be fine and not really have a problem. I try to only run it around about 4 to 5 on it. In the
it's loud
slot. Yeah, and then the active slot allows me to cut, I think, like 10 decibels. So when you have it active, you have really hot pickups, and that allows it to cut down. But you know, if I'm plugged into passive, I can actually crank it up to about 3, and then the walls and the ceiling will start to shake and cause problems.
All right, Darryl, let's talk about these guitars down here.
Okay, well, we'll start with the first one. This is an Alvarez 5-string. It's one of my very first 5-string basses I've ever had in my entire life. I don't know what the series is, honestly. I just know the pickups are really well. Everything's really worn in for mine, but for as old as she is, I think she's been in my care for, I think, like 10 years, and she's actually been holding up really well. The next one we come along is the Halo. That isn't mine. Honestly, that is Richard's, and I know nothing about it. I know it has plenty of strings. It's very low, but we'll move on. The next one is what me and Richard affectionately call the Craigslist bass, because every time we go on Craigslist and look at basses, we find this exact one. The reason why I even bought it.
I saw that bass on Craigslist.
Yeah, I found it at the pawn shop at Cash America on 9 Mile for $50, and I was actually able to talk him into giving it to me for $50, no tax, which I thought was pretty funny.
You overpaid.
Yeah. But this is a Fender Squire. Obviously, it has a skull and crossbone inlay. Not necessarily my style. It has a Peabody style, which just means the way the pickups are staggered here. It's a great guitar for most people. It doesn't have very good pickup for me, so it takes a lot more volume in order to get to where I need to be. But
You bought it as a joke, is what you're saying, basically.
yeah, I bought it for a joke.
Balls Jovi.
Bought it for a $50 joke. The next one is an actual beautiful, beautiful Rogue. Unfortunately, it's caught on the joke bass. But anyway, it is a Rogue, let's see here, LX 405 Pro. What I like is the satin hardware on it. It has a bridge that I like, helps with the sustain. The way this one's done, I don't know what they call it, but it does have an EQ on it to cut the bass, the mids, and the highs. It's an active that you can turn on and off with the flip of a switch here. And it plays really well. It really will pick up just like the Alvarez will. So when I play 5 strings, I generally play both of those just because they have the same range in decibels.